going to learn it. Okay, so let's see. So we will be sharing you this document also, like we have the document of PPT that we'll be sharing with you. This will help you for future reference later if you want to have or refer later on. But after the course also, it's not that you don't have access to me after the course also. Later also, if you want to have any help, any query, you can call me, or even you can message me or mail me your issues, screenshots. So whenever I have time, definitely I am going to answer you. Okay. So
Sure.
these are the things. These are the PPTs, just to make one way, like how many type of users are there, what is the property of users, okay, what is the different tabs are there, what we do in each tabs, some screenshots, okay, for each one, so that we are getting it, how to do this, how to assign role, profile tab, user group, license data, user creation and mass, okay, amendment, changing in the mass way, what is the user group, what is the important tables we have, okay, these are the tables, what is the user buffer, role and profile, what is the type of roles, type of role when it is required, what is the topic of SU22, SU24, how authorization works, and SU24 maintenance. This is also important. Profile generator, single role creation, how to create single role, okay, then what is the master derived role, how to create master derived role, what is the difference, or how to create composite roles, okay, how the authorization will be given to the user. So that is the tree structure about that. Role download, upload, what is the meaning here, how to delete a role, how to restrict a table access, how to restrict a program, role generation, troubleshooting with ST01, user information, ST01, and then the troubleshooting way. These all the troubleshooting way, and this is about the SUM, like reports, what we call as a report. So if you want to say user by system, user by role, user by user ID, okay, role by role ID, and then what is the purpose of CUA. Okay, so these are the things. We'll add little bit of Fiori also, like what is the S4 HANA, what we have. So the server wise means you will get the S4 HANA, okay, that access you will receive, or EHP, whatever is there. Okay, so let's start now. Okay, so it is just a idea. So I will give you like what is SAP security actually, and why SAP security is required. So before going to that, let's see what is SAP. So SAP is a ERP software. Okay, so ERP software means it is used by the organization to manage their day-to-day business. Okay, so they will do, like day-to-day business is there. So what they will do, they will any organization, if you take, if you consider like a Tata Motor or Maruti or any other business, so what they do, they have to sell the cars. That is their core business, right? So what they will do, they are producing the car, they are selling the car. So if they are selling the car, they have the sales department, right? So each organization have the different departments, correct? Like sales department, just an example. So the sales department its basic job is to sell car, right? Then we have finance department. So what is the use of finance department? They are they have to make the finance, they have to keep all the selling and purchasing thing into the GL account, and then they are managing the finance, right? That is their core job. Similarly, we have the purchase department. So what is their job? Their job is to purchase the raw material, right? They will purchasing some raw materials like tires, brakes and other stuff to make the cars, correct? Then we have the production planning department. Right now, so similarly, like we have, if we are producing something, then obviously you have the quality management department, quality department, correct? So like that, these many departments are there as example. So whenever any organization is there, suppose the ERP software is not there, so how the people know that how many cars you sell, and then what is the earning you got by selling those cars. So if software is not there, then what it will do? Will the salesperson or sales department will maintain the document on the maybe register or somewhere, and then he is making entry into the finance department and going to the finance register and GL account register, and then adding those entry and manually into the system, right? And once the car is sold, like if 100 car is produced and 100, all 100 is sold out, so that based on that, like the sale, you will increase your production cycle or you reduce the production cycle if car is not selling. So the idea here is, like if you use the ERP software, the transfer of the information between each module will be automatic. Okay, that is the advantage for ERP software. Getting me? So once if somebody is selling the car, he enter the sales entry into SAP, automatically it is reflecting into the finance. Okay, this much car is sales, this is the figure, and this is the receivable is there. He will get the information in the finance department. Similarly, once the sale is happened, so that means you have the one more vacancy for producing one more car. So it is start producing one more car, and for producing one more car, how many tires is required? Like 4 tires is required. It immediately order 4 tires for the organization to procure it, and then your particular company will be purchasing this from some outside vendor. Okay, once the car is produced, it is also go for quality checking. So like that, it will be automated way, so that organization will be working in the efficient manner. So that is the advantage by using the ERP software by the organization. Right? Conceptually, you got why people or the organization go for SAP.
Yes.
Clear.
Right? Okay. So now coming to the point here, like in each department we have a specific job position, right? For example, if we assume like example of sales department, so the sales department have different job functions, right? Different jobs is there in sales. Maybe sales clerk is there. Then you may have sales manager. Okay, you can have sales head maybe. Right? So these people is there. Just an example I'm telling. There may be many more maybe, but let's assume like we have these 3 people in the sales department. So the sales clerk, his job is to show the car maybe to the client, and then once people is asking for a specific quotation about that, so he will create those quotation and all, right? The sales manager job is to, when actually client came and he really want to have a car purchase, so he will sell the car, he will create a sales order, he will create the invoice. That is maybe the job for your sales manager, right? The sales head job is to approve the sales order, and then also he will be checking how many cars is sold during this week from each of your display center or each of the showrooms, right? So that is his job, correct, na? So for each person have different responsibility, right? So what this person, if suppose this person is coming to the organization, so or he is working and some new person is joined, like a John joined, suppose in this department as a sales clerk. So he has to work, he has to create a quotations for all the people who is coming and asking for quotation for the different model of the car. His job is to create a quotation and give it to the users, right? So what, and he want to work in a department, so he has to work in SAP. So first step for security, like we create his ID, right? So to create his ID, we use something SU01 transaction code command and create his ID. Leave about that. But first we create his ID and his job function sales clerk. So sales clerk means he need quotation. Quotation access, just an example, right? So what we are going to do, we create one role, okay, role like sales clerk, and add like VA01 transaction code in the role and assign to this his ID, so that once the user get this access, he is able to create quotation within VA01. Okay, right? So that is our job. Similarly, okay, for other department, in the same department, somebody joined as a sales manager, okay, any name you can take, okay, for example this person joined, okay. So what we have to go, we have to create his ID, because until and unless we create his ID in SAP, he is not able to access the SAP system, right? So how he can create the sales order? So he has to get access for VA01 creating sales order, okay. So once we give access for him for this transaction code, then only he is able to create sales order into the system, right? So like that, for different user we have to create different IDs, and for each job function we have to create a role which transaction code is required for him to perform his job in the organization, okay. So like that, our job is to create a specific role for each department, and then we have to create individual user and assign the respective role to the user ID or the user, right? Then he is going to get into the system and he can create the sales order and all, okay. So that is the basic understanding how the user will get the access in the SAP and how he can perform his daily job. So before moving, any question?
No, Vikas, not yet.
Okay, Shivam, your side?
No, no questions.
Okay. So the same thing, like let's go to the system quickly. I will show you. So suppose we have created one user, like just take an example. If you want to create user, we have to go for SU01 and we have created this ID like a finance manager or sales manager, whatever you want to make out. So we have to give his first name, last name and first name, and then we have to give him the ID, okay, email ID, then other things if you know, like his mobile number, telephone number, department, function. So all this thing we can maintain here. For example, English, his function is finance manager, for example. His department is finance, maybe, right? Room number something, if he's allocated with the room, some building number something, building code if you have. If you know the telephone number, then add this telephone number. If you know the fax number, all this thing you can add it, right? And once you add, his ID will be gets created into the system, okay. And we created this ID, but the point here, if we don't give any access to him, he cannot do anything. He just log in, but he cannot perform any job. So to perform his job is to maybe maintain the ledger, or maybe the posting document is his job. So what we have to do, we have to create one role, like the role is nothing but we have to create PSCG role, and then we are going to create finance manager. finance manager as a role. Okay, so just create role. And after creating a role, you can add the transaction code. So click here when you add. I'm just telling you quickly, but once we come to the real one, it will be slow only. Okay, so FB01 for example, for posting purpose. Okay, post document. So we go here, we create the role, and once we create the role is gets created, and we can add this role to the user. So the user is there, we'll go to the user screen here, and if we add this role to the user, finance manager role for this FI finance manager, so he will get access for this post document access. Okay, so if you want to so once the user ID create what the security job, we have to share his ID and we have to share his password through mail, that okay, your ID is gets created into this system and your password is so and so, you can perform this job into the system. So what other person has to come here, he has to click on this same thing to access the system. He will give his ID, he will give the password. So once he give the first time password, it asks for the changing the password. Welcome 12 for example. Okay, okay. So once you log into the system, you can see you have the post document access, right? So once you have the post document access, the user can run the post document transaction code directly from here. If we click here, the post document screen will be appearing here. Which document he want to post, what is the type, what is the period, what is the company code, where he want to, what is the currency rate. So he can post that document, right? Any question? Not to worry, means I move the screen quickly. Okay, but just concentrate specific on the concept, like how user will get access, what is security job. So security job is same thing, like we have to create user in the broader way if you say, and then we have to provide access to the user through a role, and in the role we are adding the specific command or transaction code for the user, right?
Okay.
So the meaning here is the same thing, like we created the user like manager, in this case like a manager, and we added the finance related transaction. In case of finance it is finance, in case of sales it is a sales one. Then there is a specific variety, like how many type of user is there, what is the purpose of user, what is the type of role, when to create. For example, you have the sales manager, right? So the sales manager, maybe if you say assume like a Pune, sales manager Pune is there, then you have your organization so big, like you have many sales manager and each have the different location. Okay, for example, if you have Delhi also, so each different people who is working in different area, so we can, which have all the same access in the sense same role.
Okay, Vikas, in this, we get notified over email regarding all the new joinees and their roles,
Yes.
and or we need to connect with each teams regarding their like role creation or the access.
No, we will be receiving through mail, okay, that these many people join in the organization, that is their role, and you can create his ID, and we have to assign a respective role based on his job function.
Okay,
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 So sometime it is coming through mail, sometime it is coming through one ticketing tool is there, like Zira. If you have any idea about Zira, so ticketing tool means the ticket will be gets created and you have the access for this ticketing tool. So if you open, this ticket will be assigned to your queue. Okay, so then based on the queue, if you create the user, assign the role, then you can close your ticket. So sometime it will be ticket system, sometime it is on the mail system.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so that is our core job. Means we will be creating is, and if suppose user is logged by giving the wrong password. Okay, so our job is to reset his password, unlock the ID, or the user, suppose this user went for long leave. Okay, either maybe maternity leave or maybe the higher study leave. Okay, so instead of keep this ID open for security purpose, we lock this user. Okay, so that no unauthorized person can access this ID. Okay,
And if somebody left the organization, then also we have to deactivate.
Yeah, we have to deactivate, or if your organization say you have to delete it, we then delete this. Ideally deletion is not a correct option, but anyway this option is still there. So in case if he is not there, so we have to lock the user and deactivate the user.
And there,
Sorry, Samir. Please keep going.
and there might be some kind of a request like user can access. I mean, user can watch or can see the page, but cannot do any activity on this SAP.
Correct.
These
correct.
kind of requests also there, na?
Yes, yes.
Because
So
where we are working, we have access for SAP, but we can already check the payment details. We cannot do anything there. We can't make any kind of changes or anything. But yes, we can go and check there what are the payment details, bank details, and everything.
right.
So is these kind of requests also received?
Yes, yes, you will receive. So here, for example, this person who can create the sales order. Okay, but if you can say like any sales head is there, his job is to approve the sales order, but this person doesn't have the approval for the sales order approval. Okay, so different type of activity is there within the same transaction. Also, somebody will have only the display access, somebody will have create access, and somebody will have the change access. So based on their responsibility, the display, change, or create access is also there with each activity.
Okay.
So
Yes, please, Ruchi.
Yeah.
Okay, my question was Vikas, like you have said that if the person is going on higher study or the maternity leave, so we lock the profile,
Yes.
and the person left the company, then in that case also it is not suggested to delete the user profile. We
Right.
okay.
Right.
So like if a person like will come back after after maternity leave or the higher study leave.
We have to
So in
unlock
that
it.
case, yeah, okay, if we unlock it, then the same access and everything like role creation will remain same. We can unlock it, right?
Yeah, role creation. What you said? Role creation. Sorry, I missed your last word.
I said the user ID and his or her activities and the role creations, like the access which we have provided, like display creation and everything.
Right.
So all these will remain same.
It all will remain the same. Yes. So it is
Okay.
just locking the ID, but his ID and his role or her role will be remain same. It will not be get deleted in case of unlocking or locking.
Okay, and for example, if a person left the company and after 2 or 3 years, the same person joined the same company joined by the same person. Uh, like in that case, there should be another option. Like if we create his or her profile after 2 or 3 years, then the system will give us a duplicate notification.
No, ideally, if we are not deleting his IDs, for example, we just lock the ID, and here, if suppose you make the changes, like here we have normally we create one user group here. Okay, so the user group like expired kind of thing. Okay, so that is the meaning here, that this user already left the company, and then he is no more in the company right now. But later point of time, like after 2 years or after 5 years, he again rejoined the company, but maybe his position is different, so we have to remove his role. We can reuse his ID again, and we can remove his role and add the new role like sales head, for example.
Okay, okay. The ID will remain same, but the
Yeah,
role will get
role will
changed.
get changed. Yes.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so we delete from here, for example, this role, and then we add sales head role. Just an example.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so for each ID, whenever we are creating, we can also put the validity also, like from which date. Suppose if he is a contractor employee and his job is only for 1 year, so we can add the like a date also here. So that is start date and end date. So date option is also available here for making the change for the user validity. Okay, 2 year or 1 year, whatever you can say. Okay, so there are various
Um,
options is there
uh,
here. Yeah,
Vikas, just one more
yeah,
thing.
Ruchi.
Um, what if see, like I have the access, and I have shared my password and ID with Ruchi, and she is also working on that, just because she is new in the organization and I'm the old one. So how could we check as a SAP consultant, how could she or he can check that there's any security prospect, I mean compliance issue or something?
Ideally, we
Is
are
there
not
any?
sharing. Ideally, we don't have
Yeah,
to share.
ideally we should not share it, correct.
Okay.
That is already a compliance issue. But what if somebody did like this, then how could we catch, or
Okay.
what will be the consequences then?
He- Yeah. See, means whenever we are running any of the transaction on different machine, here we have the capture option, like audit option is there. So it will capture from which machine it is being captured or used. Okay, who used which session in which machine, that we can find out. Okay, but if you are using the same machine, okay, and you share the password, then there is no way to identify like who used which transaction, unless you have the CCTV camera behind you.
Right, sure.
So, okay, will you teach us SAP audit as well then?
Yeah, see, SAP audit not the part of this, because here the SAP audit, normally we are not going here. SAP audit is a different part altogether. But here you can see here like SUIM, like who changed this user access, who added the particular transaction to the user. Okay, whatever changed, who changed the role, who added this particular transaction into the role. So these all part like a change history that we'll be teaching you here in this. So if suppose if you say like somebody who assigned all the access to his ID, his or her own ID, right? That we can capture from here as a audit document. So that is nothing but your change document. Because in some organization we see like people think that some issues are there and some stress is there, something is not working in production system, so they will assign maximum access to himself, and later they will caught, because you cannot assign everything to yourself. That is not a good thing.
Okay.
Okay. So audit and all, it's not so direct, so easy. It will be again 1 month course, at least 1 month course, and for that the prerequisite you have to know SAP security well first.
Right, right. We should have to know end-to-end process of SAP security to do audit.
Correct, correct. Okay, any questions, Shivam, your side?
No, actually, I'm doing these things from last like 6 months from in
In
my
current
training in
organization?
company.
Okay, good.
Yes, yes,
That's
yes,
that's good.
yes. I know these things.
Okay, very good. So that's all from my end for this demo. So if you have any question, if you want, maybe I'll share this syllabus with you all. So just for your reference, but we'll add,
Yes, please.
yeah, we'll add that, like, okay, topic 13 maybe, like Fury thing you want to have as for HANA and Fury, right? Okay, so that's what I will just share with you all, and then I just want to need your confirmation. If you can tell me today, it will be best. So we'll start from tomorrow, or otherwise we'll start from Tuesday. If you can tell me maybe tomorrow. Okay. So yeah, any further question, or we are good to close this demo?
Actually, not from my side. No, I don't have.
I just have general question
Yeah.
with us. Like usually other institute or the trainer took
Mm.
take 3 months to complete SAP security course, and you are giving us 1 month training,
Mm.
right? And like will you is there any technique or the process you are fastening the process, or the is there
What
anything
is
for
what is their syllabus? If you tell me, then only I can compare. Otherwise, how I will compare? What they
uh,
want to teach in 3 months? 3 months, like every day 1 hour for 5 days.
yeah, 1 hour 5 days a week.
Okay.
But of course, I haven't taken any course, any training from anyone. So it's just I have searched, and 3 months duration is mentioned in all over the sites. But here you are offering us for 1 month. That's why I ask. It's a just generic question,
Mm-hmm.
nothing.
So just check with them, like what is the difference in syllabus, what they have and what we have. What is the difference? So is that they, if they are teaching you like what is SAP security, SAP, and in the SAP what is the different modules are there, that I am not sure. And then if they are asking for 3 months, obviously the cost is also very high, right?
Yeah, of course, cost is also very.
Yes.
But my suggestion, just check with the syllabus, okay? So that will give you better understanding what they are giving and what is the different topic which is not covered in the security, especially.
Okay.
That I will call you anyway later. Okay, we'll see that. Maybe if you
Sure,
once you have the syllabus, we'll discuss together.
sure. Okay.
Okay. But whatever daily things are there required for the all the security consultant, what they have to know, everything is there in this as a security consultant. So whoever is asking you the question in SAP security, like as an interview, you will get all the question from here,
Okay.
whatever
And
we are
Okay.
teaching.
Vikas, what do you think? What do you think the job opportunity or the demand of SAP security in India as well as outside of India?
Outside India right now, don't think about right now. Okay, first you have to work in security first for 2 3 years, then outside you can think of.
Okay,
Outside in the sense, if you have H1B already, or if your husband or someone have already visa for H1B, then then it is okay. Then maybe if the people will have basic knowledge, they also can get in US especially in the job easily. But otherwise, without visa, not possible.
Okay. So there will be no opportunities like the companies like giving you onshore opportunities to work on SAP security or the GRC.
They will give, but not as a fresher. It will be like for some
Yeah, of
1, 2, 3
course.
years, and
Right.
later you can get, but not immediately. Yes.
Yeah, right, of course.
Okay. Any further?
Vikas, one more thing.
Hmm.
GRC is the upgraded version, or is this is
Separate.
a completely altogether a different topic?
It is different topic. Like if you
Hmm.
see, like we are creating user here, right, with the help of SU01. So you will
Right.
receive one request from your manager, or some manager from that department, that this user joined in our organization, our department. His role is this: create his ID. But it is something like a manual process, right? So the
Hmm.
GRC comes into picture if suppose you want to say, like, the manager, instead of sending you the request through the mail, he will create the access request in GRC. Okay, or somebody else, or maybe the user itself is creating request into GRC. So it is automatically detect who is the manager for this person. He will direct for the user for approval, like his manager. And once manager approve, it will go for the role owner approval, and once role owner approve, his ID automatically gets created into the system, and the password will be shared with him. So one thing is the automation. We don't have to do SU01, create user, assign the role. No, we don't have to do this. GRC will do for us. And second thing, all the approval will be get recorded to the GRC. So GRC meaning itself like governance, risk and compliance. Okay. So
Okay.
means all the thing will, you cannot create ID just like that. You need complete automatic process for approval. Until and unless all the approval in place, you can't create ID and you can't assign role. That is the logic here.
Okay.
Okay. Just one line thing. What is GRC? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So GRC again, it's always recommended. Don't go for GRC directly. First learn SAP security, then go for GRC. Then you understand better, and then you understand why we use GRC. What is the advantage if we have the GRC?
Yes, this is the reason that we opt for security first and then plan for the GRC.
Correct. Correct. So that is the better approach. So later, if you want to see some of the videos, means I will share you the YouTube link, and this is the GRC syllabus actually. If you want to see that GRC syllabus, these are the documents about the GRC, what we have it,
Okay.
and then this is the topic about GRC 12, what we have. So GRC 12 is 1.5 months course. Okay, so that will be showing you practical thing, conceptual and practical, what are the different topics are there. Okay,
Sure.
so you can see some of the videos that is there in the YouTube channel. Okay, unfortunately we don't have from security. Okay, but you can find something on HANA DB security, GRC and stuff.
You have a YouTube channel too.
Correct.
Okay.
So here you can see some of the documents are there. For example, HANA security, this is the one. GRC ARA is one. MSMP, GRC introduction means what are the different specific introduction. If you want to know about GRC introduction, you can go here and search it. What is that GRC introduction?
Sure.
Share with you.
Yes, type 2 diabetes can be reversed. The thought
So maybe I will share with you right away.
GRC. If they are not using SAP GRC, what will happen? Okay, this is the picture telling you about that. Okay, suppose a organization have many, you can say component like SAP, ECC, HR, BW
So you
kind of
can
system.
read
Okay,
it,
or
this.
many other system also SRM, CRM. Okay, so what
And
will happen?
here also
If
you
anybody is
have,
asking for a access, so SAP admin person will log in into SAP GRC, sorry, SAP individual system and run the SU01 transaction and
you can
create the
hear
user.
that, or I don't know whether you can
So,
hear it. No.
so that if one user is required, for example,
Yes,
SAP admin is required for
Oh,
all the system.
No, it's already started.
Somebody joined
Close it.
newly. So the
okay. So yeah, that's what I have it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Okay, welcome and take care. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll meet tomorrow or maybe later. Okay.
Thank
Sure, we will inform you.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Shivam. Take care. Bye bye.
Thanks, Vikas.